So here are all my pattern pieces. I have my center front, my side front, my back piece. I have two of these, and I've also gone ahead to interface the back of the fabrics. For the front side, I used wadding so that it will flatten my tummy area, and for the back side, I just used hairstay just to give it a little bit of structure. Then for the back, I cut out just like the way I did the upper side of the front. I did a similar thing. You are at liberty to change your style at the back. And as well, on the back side, I took out, that's on the center back side, I took out 1 inch from there because I want to lace the back instead of a zipper. So on the outline side, I took out 1.5 instead of 1 inch because I want it looking all snug. And these are our panels. So let's head over to the sewing. For the front, this is the center front, one of the side fronts. I'm going to be joining them, and I'll be starting from the lower side. So that's how I join my my breast cut or princess dart outfit. I usually start from down. So at this point, this is what my front looks like. You can see the bust area is defined. I've open pressed it as well. So I'm going to do, and I've joined the lining as well. Then I'll match the lining like so. I'll just sew the upper side. I top stitch, then I do the lower side as well. And I'll go ahead and do the same thing to the back. But before then, on the back, I'll put my loops first. You remember I said I wasn't using a zipper, so I'll put my loops first. So on the back, as you can see, I'm beginning to pull loops here. So I just cut out a long strip and I made a rope out of it, and that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm putting the loops 1/2 inch in between each other. So you go ahead and mark 1/2 inch lines, right? Then you put that, you fold that, and then you fix. So that's what I'm doing basically. So this is it. I'm leaving this allowance to join the lining to the back side. So I'll bring over the lining, then I'll lay my lining to match like so. Then I'll start by closing the upper side first. So I've joined this and I've top stitched the upper side, so I'll do the same thing to the lower side. So for the yoke side, I just used a lace on top of my Ankara fabric. I cut out a lace just like that and laid it on the Ankara fabric, and I'm just going to finish it off by joining the lining on the material right side facing each other, and I top stitch and turn it back to the other side. Then I lay it on top of the Ankara blouse, and then I'm just going to sew it along the shoulder side. Then I'll do the same thing to the back side of the dress as well. Then I'll just go ahead and join the shoulder line from the back, that's the front and the back shoulder together, right? Then when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and finish off my dress by closing the dress side before I come back to do the collar. Now for the collar, I'll just go ahead and measure the neckline. That's why I didn't drop the collar initially, because I need to measure out the neckline. So I'll just measure the neckline, and whatever I have there, I'm going to be dividing it by 2 and so draft the collar. I'm going to be marking half of that measurement that I have, I'll be rounding up that measurement to 16. Then I'll mark half of 16 here, which is 8. Then I'll decide how high I want the collar stand. I don't want it too high, so I'm just going to mark 1 inch. So that's the height that I want. So on this point, I'll mark 1 inch as well. So this is going to be the center back. So I'm just going to connect a straight line along that side, like so, and like this, right? So now if I leave it straight like this, it's not going to sit well on my neck. So on this point, I'll come with another color pen, then I'll take it up. This is going to be the front side, so I'll take this measurement up by 1 inch as well, like so. Then I'll just mark my back measurement, which is 3 inches. So I'll mark 3 inches here, that back neckline we have. So I'll use a curve to connect this 1 inch here to this 1 inch here, right? So I'm just going ahead to connect it like so. Then I would mark the 1 inch that I have here. That's the regular height of what I have. So I'll mark that 3 inch again on this upper part. So what I'm simply doing here is to raise the collar. So on the center front, I'm raising it up because you know there's a depth there. So what I'm simply doing is to raise it up. So now I'm going to measure this here, like so, until I find that 8 inches point. So I'll mark 8 inch here. Then I'll add half of an inch on this center, 1 inch on this center side. That's going to be for the overlap of the button area on the front. So I'll just sort of use a curve, like a French curve, to just make a nice curve around here, like so. Then this side, like so, would not be our new collar stand, right? So I'm just going to draft I'll cut it out, then I'll use it to draft the main collar bodies. Mind you, you will need half of an inch sewing allowance all around the collar stand and the main body. So when I'm cutting it out on fabric, I'll go ahead and add my collar. You can just add it now, but I'll just do mine when I'm adding my collar. So by the time I trace this out like this, I'll just flip it over like so. I'll flip it like so. Then I'll trace off from this collar, from this side here, so that I can use that line to create the flip side of the collar. So I'll just trace off this side. So this will be under the collar. Then from here I'll decide how high I want the collar. So I'll make it 3.5. So from here now you can determine the shape of the collar that you want. So I'll mark 3.5 here, and on this side 3.5 as well. Then I'll just go ahead and connect to this 3.5. You can connect it just any way you like it. Then I'll just cut out this design to go inwards like so. Or let me first of all bring it outwards, then I'll try it out. I can always reshape it. So this will be, this side is on fold, likewise on the collar stand. they are also unfold. So I'll just make my green line so I know what I'm working with. So I'll need half of an inch round on this pattern as well. I'll just go ahead and cut. So I'll keep my pattern paper aside, and this is what I have like so. So by the time I bend this over, you can now see how the shape is going to look like. So if you're not comfortable with this shape like this, then you can just go ahead and reshape this one just like you would want it, but I'm fine with this. So I'll just bring my fabric, and then I'm going to cut here on fold. This side as well is going to be on fold. Here is going to be on fold, and I'm going to be cutting 2 of each panel. So let me just do that. So here are all my colors. I have 2 of each, and they are cut on fold. So you can go ahead and interface yours, or you add your color gums and everything, but I don't want mine to be stiff at all, as the weather is really hot right now. So you can just do what works for you. So we'll head over to the machine to sew this. So for the flip side of the collar, I'll just match it right side facing right side. Then I'll sew from here round like so. I'll sew it round just to turn it over to the right side. So using that same half of an inch sewing allowance that I left, I'll just go ahead and sew. Cut out the excess allowances, especially on the corners. You don't have to make yours half of an inch, guys. You can just go ahead and do whatever works for you, but make sure that on the collar stand you leave half of an inch. So I'll flip that over, then I'll go ahead and press, and I'll come back to show you. So now on the collar stand, I'll just place it like this. Then I'll find the midpoint of the collar stand and just make a little notch around that side on both ends. So I'll find the midpoint of the collar rise or the flip of the collar like so. Then I'll just match right sides together. I'll grab the second collar stand and do the same thing to it. So I'll just notch both ends. Now I'll match right side together. So what I'm doing is basically sandwiching the collar rise into the collar stand. So I'll just sew using that half of an inch sewing allowance that I left. So I'll just make sure that everything is sandwiched nicely. It is very important to ensure that everything aligns. So I'll cut down most of the sewing allowance. And I get to the midpoint, I'll stop. Then I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll continue sewing. Just flip it over. Don't forget to take out your pins. So I'll go and press it nicely, then I'll come back to show you. So I'm going to start fixing my collar from the center back. So this is what my center back looks like, right? So I'll just pin it down first, or you may not necessarily pin it down, just match. I'll just match this center point that I have on my outfit. I'll keep this aside, then I'll start fixing this one from my center back here. So I'm matching one right side to another right side from my collar stand. So I'm just going to sew all the way to the front. So I'm using that 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So I'll just do the same thing to the other side. So I'll just raise it up. So on the wrong side of the collar now, you can see I have this side properly fixed. So I will just lay down the other collar stand, fold it up in like this, and make sure it folds in nicely above where I started the sewing from the middle. Then I'll just pin. So throughout this process, I'm going to be pinning it down like so. I'll just fold it up, then I make sure it crosses just a little bit beyond the seam line from the front side of the collar. I'll just pin it. So that's what I'll do till I get to, I'll just be tucking in the raw the raw seam. So this is what the collar looks like now. It's already fixed, so by the time I flip, I'll just add a button here like so. So let me just pin it so that you can see, and this will be it. So the only thing left now will be to fix the sleeve. So I'll just be using a regular um short sleeve or a cap sleeve, any of these sleeves on the blouse. So this is it. This is what our collar looks like. So let me show you what the let me fix it on the mannequin and show you what the blouse looks like. So here's the finished look of the dress. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, do ensure to subscribe, guys. Share this video with your friends and give me a thumbs up. It goes a long way to help my channel. So it's looking this way on the mannequin because I'm way bigger than the mannequin, so that's why it's not looking fitted. So you're most likely going to see the complete dress on my community page, so do hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when that comes up. Bye.